Hello, hello, hello. This is Tom from Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures. What is that? What am I sitting next to? Excuse this video. This is the only way I could figure how to do this thing. I didn't want to. There's some sensitive information on here I did not want to put online, so I'm just going to talk about it. Okay? Apparently, what's happened is Canadians are not allowed to come into the Philippines at the current time because of the troubles that's happening here in the Philippines. It's not just this area; it's all over. So what they're doing, the police department's going around to all the foreigners, and they're interviewing the foreigners, and they're finding the foreigners because it's already listed in the Bureau of Immigration. They know where you live if you had an MBI done. If not, well, they'll come find you, or however it is, if you're in town or whatever. Their job is to search out the foreigners, talk to them, make sure they're safe and secure. There's been a lot of happenings here in the Philippines in the last few months that's caused concern. And there's been, well, you guys already know, but living here, I have to tell you, is an experience. There are things that are happening, not just here, they're all over the place. They have limitations. Leyte, La Union, Bohol, Tondo, the list goes on and on. Davao, Davao del Sur, Cebu, here where I'm at, CDO. So there are a lot of things that are changing, and it's changing it's changing on the bad note. And what that means is there's been some kind of groups going around, and they're causing trouble. Okay, not just one group. There's many groups throughout the Philippines. It's like it is over there in Israel and all the other mess over there. There's those groups coming in by boat. And so be prepared in the next few months or so. There's a possibility of some changes coming down the pike here in the Philippines. Our conversation was basically make sure I was safe and secure. They will come out and check on you. He said weekly, but he went monthly, Ruth said. They will check and make sure you're safe every month. They come to your house, knock on your door, and have an interview with you, make sure you're safe and see if you're being threatened, see if you had any scams, see people's harming you or threatening you or trying to cause trouble to you. And they're doing this to everybody, not just where I live, okay? I had a note from a guy up in Iloilo yesterday that I got it this morning that he was interviewed also. So you may be interviewed seen at the mall. I was interviewed coming out of the restaurant as they were going in on their monthly visit to Ollie. And we got to talking, and I don't want to put out any information that's talked there, and it's not right to do that anyway. That was the conversation between the policeman and me. I was looking on the Canadian, my friend Tom sent me, Tom Shipman sent me some information, the Canadian website. They have stopped a lot of entries coming in here. According to this guy yesterday, there's no more Canadians coming into the Philippines. And I'm sure they're going to start limiting that in time with some of the other countries. I know that some of the other countries, there was limitations put on them in December. I did not publicize it. A lot of the vloggers aren't saying anything about it. A lot of vloggers don't even know. And that this has been going on. But this has been going on because, as you know, I sent out some reports, and if you look on my community tab, you can look what happened in December. You see a trend that's happening, not only here out in the ocean, but here inside the Philippines. If Leyte's on the list, how you say that, Surigao?
Siargao.
Siargao. I always get that confused. Siargao. There's a lot of areas. Siargao, Leyte, Bohol. They're saying, please be careful. Do not travel those areas. If you do travel those areas, include Mindinao, Visayas, Luzon. Be very, very, very Zamboanga. Be very careful. Do not travel those areas because you may be unrest, kidnappings, things of that nature. The normal that you read. As you know, I noticed something on Sunday, and I'm going to say this briefly. I noticed something on Sunday. We went and got a hamburger. Another American, my friend of mine, he did not know that this was happening. We did not go through a checkpoint, but we had to drive through a checkpoint. That's the very first time we've ever had to drive it through a checkpoint in over a year. Why do we have to drive through a checkpoint instead of go around the checkpoint as before? Now we're driving through the checkpoint. So what does that mean? Did I see more activity? Nah, it seemed like it was the same, 2, 3, 4, 5 guards there. They're always there. But why would we have to start driving through? Just a question in my mind. And nobody noticed it but me. Nobody even thought about it but me. In other words, all vehicles must go through this checkpoint. So even though we weren't stopped, there may be a time coming. But there is unrest. So be prepared. So if you're planning on coming to the Philippines, think about what destination you're going to. Make sure it's safe and secure. Make sure you're safe because you don't know. Things were safe yesterday. Don't mean it's going to be safe tomorrow or the next day. The areas that I see that's online, it's in the heart of the Philippines, not just down here in Mindinao. It's in the heart of the Philippines also. They're actually coming in off the boats, going to that side, like Cebu side, La Union, Leyte, all up in there, and they're hitting all the islands. So you have to think about it this way. If you're planning on retiring here and spending 80 or 100 grand, 150 grand like a lot of people did, including myself, be prepared. I believe I would wait a while before I would invest any money here in the Philippines. I would probably give an idea. Let's give it a year. Let's give it 2 years before I start selling everything in the States and coming here. And because this is an eye-opener. I had an eye-opener yesterday. I was in shock. I said, what do you mean they're not coming in? They're not allowed in. He says, no, it's not that they're not allowed. They're allowed to come in, but the Canadian government stopped them from entering. They can no longer come. So I don't know what they're doing with existing flights. I don't know anything about it. I don't know, but only reporting what was told by me by this chief of police yesterday. So I was sergeant. I'm sorry, sergeant. So we have to look at things this way. If you're going to a country that is in this situation like this, and you got so many foreigners coming here and planning to come here, a lot of vloggers will not tell you the actual truth of what's going on. And I've always been that way. I've always been straightforward. I'm a straightforward kind of guy. A lot of people don't like me for it. I may not get the views that all these guys get 20, 30, 40, 50,000 views, but they run around BGC and run around how perfect things are. And things aren't rosy as it always seems to be. I've always said that from day one. Now, back in the day when we're under martial law, I could not say a lot of things. I could say a few more things about it now than I could before because the restrictions on YouTube's released a little bit better. But I think you should always really take a close look at things before you jump in. Believe me, I did my due diligence. My boots on the ground. That's the reason I didn't buy anything or do anything for over a year. 2 years, actually. We lived in an apartment over for 8 or 9 months, moved somewhere else for 8 or 9 months, and then decided to buy and purchase something and come out here and buy land. We didn't just snap our fingers, decide, oh, I'm going to buy land in the Philippines and I'm going to build immediately like